In this episode of Idea City,
We all don't age the same rate, but we all have a lot of the same traits. Our waist is expanding, we're growing in girth everywhere, but we're losing our mind and our memories.
Moses Znaimer's Idea City Conference. Ideas change the world.
I know this from personal experience, and an alternative to the kind of technology-based and pharma-based medicine, which really is the hallmark of the Western approach to medicine, and a reliable guide to help us through the new age hocus pocus, all the way to the real and to the natural. Come out here, Marcus.
Thank you, Moses. The developed world is turning gray. We are growing older. And with that, a lot of problems. I am acutely aware of these problems because I own a mirror. There are many things that come along with that, and we're going to talk about how to life-proof yourself. Natural solutions, healthy living in your life. And the two biggest things I see from private practice, I spent most of my life in the trenches, as we get older now, is keeping our waistline and keeping our brain activity, keeping our wits about us. For several decades, I saw patients day in and day out. That's what I did. Several university appointments, and then traveling the globe, learning native healing practices. So I studied the human body up front and personal, and then I studied the people that studied the human body and condition. And the rest of it was traveling, looking at what nature had to provide from right under our noses that are being missed. What I've learned is that it's easy when you got it going on. When you're young and your hormones are running the show, everything's perfect. It's a day at the beach. The flowers are blossoming. There's music playing in the back. You are self-healing. But what happens to us? Now we take the epitome of the male perfection. When we're young, we have everything going. We're vital and we're healthy. We cut ourselves. We heal overnight. We end up knocking prematurely on heaven's door. We morph. And what happens, I see it here in Canada as well. You've caught our disease. The Western world, we're getting fat and feeble. We have problems. Why is that? I suggest there are some commonalities. But what you notice as well, we all don't age the same rate, but we all have a lot of the same traits. Our waist is expanding. We're growing in girth everywhere, but we're losing our mind and our memories. Our memories become faint, fuzzy, and even flexible as we get older. Women are acutely aware the bones break and become a danger. Men are more concerned about their muscle mass. As we age, muscle seems to shrivel away. You look at people when they're older from the back, you can't tell if they're a male or a female. Our skin wrinkles. All these things are going on at some point, at some time in our society today. And I wanted to know, after 30-some-odd years of practice and research, is there a commonality? Is there a common thread? Is there perhaps something that we can do fairly easily as a solution to some of the problems? If you're not reading the newspapers, you're uninformed. But if you're reading them, you're going to be misinformed. Pick several authorities. Cross-compare your notes. Run it by your gut and make a decision, because there is a war out there for your brain.
Great ideas are meant to be shared. Join the discussion on Facebook. Moses Znaimer's Idea City Conference. Ideas change the world.
One of the clues came from what we died from in 1900s, what we're dying from today. Those lists up there will show you here, 100 years ago, the 1900s, acute infectious illness. Dying quickly, inflammatory, catch something, succumb to it, and die. 2000, chronic degenerative illness, heart disease, cancer, stroke. Those are things we are living with a problem, and it's growing. We're living longer, we're not living any healthier. Why? Why we went from acute to living longer with chronic is because we got sanitation, we got indoor plumbing, we got heat in the house, we have refrigeration, we have jumbo jets that bring food. It's not the medical system that has done this. It is the advancements in society. But why did we get chronic and degenerative? I have some answers, but some of it will be our lifestyle and our food. I submit that we are aging sick. We're not aging well. What's going on with our diet, the food choices, the preparation, the preservation? We have metabolic mayhem. What we see as aging is not actually aging. It's advanced decline. Chronic degenerative disease. Chronic means over a long period of time. Degenerative means we are not regenerating. Health has no limits. You can choose whether you want to dance or lie down. It's a choice, not a limitation. So what's the difference? What do we do that allows us to come back at any age, whatever you're suffering from, to reverse that trend, to change the way the wind is blowing, to create health? That's what we can do. I don't believe that the system is going to do it. I believe you have to do it. And I think a lot of the information we get may be off base. These are where I've been looking for antidotes for aging. These are things that I thought might life-proof us. These are some of them you may add to that list. Is it the next superfruit? Is it an ancient herb? I probably brought 50 different dietary supplements and natural medicines into the marketplace worldwide over my career. I brought bioidentical hormones to the world in 1996. They're going to be icing on the cake, because the real story is going to be in a minute. This is an advertisement for ideacity and things we are thinking outside the box. If you're reading the newspapers, or if you're not reading the newspapers, you're uninformed. But if you're reading them, you're going to be misinformed. Pick several authorities. Cross-compare your notes. Run it by your gut and make a decision, because there is a war out there for your brain. There is a war out there on information. Most of it has an agenda. I only care that you get better. My whole relationship to life has been with patients. It only mattered what went on. Did they get better? Did we make progress? So what I'm going to tell you is for you to take. Go compare it. Go cross it with your own references. Usually the gut's the best place because it doesn't have self-doubt. It's a grand piano, your DNA. It's like this. You put Michael out here, you put Mozart out here, you put Elton John out here, or me. I can tell you which one's not going to sound good. Your DNA is there to be played. Your lifestyle and your diet is going to tell your DNA whether you make a gene, make a protein that's protective, or whether it's dangerous and you have chronic degenerative disease.
Get the latest Idea City news instantly. Follow us on Twitter. Moses Znaimer's Idea City Conference. Ideas change the world.
Studying anatomy is one of my favorite subjects. Can you answer these questions? What's the strongest muscle in the body? What's the hardest bone? From the other sessions, don't answer that. Strongest muscle, the tongue. Strongest bone, jawbone. To live on this planet, you have to be able to breathe and eat. Well, nature knew you'd screw up something, so they took breathing out of your realm. That's automatic for you. But you have to eat. and you're going to eat about 50 tons of food in your lifetime. You have to replace 1 billion cells every hour. You've been given a real sure way to make sure that you can chomp and chew all that food to convert that's not you into your flesh, bone, and blood. You're going to drive your DNA destiny, menu, movement, motivation. It's not about your DNA per se. It's about how you play your DNA. It's a grand piano, your DNA. It's like this. You put Michael out here, you put Mozart out here, you put Elton John out here, or me. I can tell you which one's not going to sound good. Your DNA is there to be played. Your lifestyle and your diet is going to tell your DNA whether you make a gene, make a protein that's protective, or whether it's dangerous and you have chronic degenerative disease. A team knows all the plays. The coach calls the play to coordinate. Without a coach, without direction, without a proper lifestyle, diet, and motion, we have chaos. The masters of metabolism. When I went through medical school, I thought it was your thyroid or your adrenal. I thought it was your endocrine system. It's actually exercise with diet. The masters of metabolism of your body heat, your functioning, your repair, your regeneration are your muscles. We are meant to move. Most of us is about ambulation, moving around. Our muscles are what work. You feed it properly, you flex them properly, you actually get repair and regeneration in the body. There is no other way. And I'm going to submit it's the proteins, the peptides, the amino acids in our diets that are the featured fuel for longevity. No fast, simple supplement with a snazzy label or anything. Protein. Protein plays a huge role. It's way beyond bodybuilding. You want to build bones. You want to build skin. You want to stay young. You want to keep your wits. You must have protein, and we'll talk about this in a little detail. Messages from Mother Earth. Messages from the mother. This is food. That's what sustains us. You have to eat, or at least think about eating, right, to be here? Primary and secondary metabolites. Macronutrients, micronutrients. You are here right now in this room, this moment, because you have consumed macronutrients, primary metabolites, sometime in the very recent past. Otherwise, you'd be dead. Protein, carbohydrates, and fats are the foods you need to live in the moment, today, tomorrow. If you don't, you die fairly quickly. Secondary metabolites, the micronutrients, is where most people are looking for answers for longevity and anti-aging and being sick. They won't help you live this minute. What they do is they protect you from pests, predators, pathogens. Plants make all of these things for their health. And they make the secondary metabolites to survive the solar radiation, fungus going after their roots. We don't make them. We have to get them from our diet. If we don't get them from the diet, we suffer from chronic degenerative disease over time. But if you want to regenerate and build in this moment, focus on protein. This is what proteins become. Your entire skeleton, muscles, ligaments, bones. So we think about building blocks. But I want you to expand that to antibodies, immune cells. You want to digest food, those enzymes are made from protein. You want to carry oxygen in your blood, that's hemoglobin. You want to carry chemicals and nutrition, that's albumin. Hormones. The fast-acting hormones from insulin or growth hormone or oxytocin, they're all from protein. Glands make these hormones, but they have to pull the nutrients out of the blood. If it's not in your diet, if it's not digested, it's not in your blood. If it's not there, you can't make them. If you don't make them, you don't regenerate, you don't repair. Get rid of the pain. Save yourself problems, but don't stay on a long-term drug for any time. It's a diet or drug, sneakers or slippers. It's the farm or the pharmacy. Your choice. There's only one way to go as far as I'm concerned.
Get the latest Idealist news, presenter information, and watch streaming video at ideacityonline.com. Moses Znaimer's Idea City Conference. Ideas change the world.
Who needs more protein? The 16-year-old jock or the 60-year-old cop? The young or the old? The older guy needs more protein than the young athlete. Doesn't make sense to me. It took me a while to understand it. The youngster is being driven by hormones. Everything is efficient. As we get older, we're very sloppy in our handling of our metabolism. We need more protein because a lot slides through the slide. More protein, we can repair. And if you do that, we're not talking about high protein, we're talking about protein at each and every meal. What you know about L-arginine? How many people have heard of the supplement L-arginine? L-arginine is an amino acid. They use it to improve blood flow because it dilates blood vessels. In a full, satisfied diet with protein, it has no effect. So it's showing you that its effect is because we're in a protein-deficient environment. Bones. Women are taking calcium to build bones. It's not working very well. Bones are a large portion protein. And what we need to do, if we think about our bones as a Christmas tree, here are the branches, and you hang the ornaments off the branches. Think of the protein in the bone as those branches. If there's no protein, where are you going to put the calcium? There's no place to put it. And so you can take all the calcium you want, it'll end up in your kidneys or somewhere else, but not in your bones. You feed the body this, protein will help you build your bones better with less calcium in that type of a diet. Peptides as well, found in milk. I'm not saying go drink milk, but it's not a bad food. But it does have peptides that actually tells your bone cells to grow, tells them not to break down, as well as it's got peptides and proteins that calm your blood pressure, calm your brain, help you de-stress. This is one of the newest things on the horizon. It will be coming to Canada, I think in the next year or so, neuropeptides. These are specific protein substances that stimulate your brain to grow new brain cells at any age. You're never too old. It also, because when we start to lose our memory, we're losing connections between those neurons. These neuropeptides are very specific messengers. They can get into the body, they pass the stomach acid, they get absorbed into the blood, they pass the blood-brain barrier, and they stimulate the brain to repair and regenerate. A protein does that. What you're going to have to do is make a decision. Take charge or take a number. Stand up and count on yourself for your health care, for your repair, or you're going to sit down and wait for someone to come with a medical algorithm and tell you what procedure they can pay for and when it will be done. You need to eat like a Korean or a Belgian or a Japanese or an Italian. What do they have in common? There's protein, fat, and carbs at every single meal. You need to focus on somewhere between 20 to 35 grams of branched-chain amino acids. That is a higher, more efficiency coming from an animal source. Trans fats are the only fat you want to avoid. Trans fats are oxidized fats because they will shrink your brain and they'll expand your waistline. Other than that, fats are not the enemy. But here's what you got to know, and I'm going to use the four-letter word here, cure. You can cure the problems of aging prematurely and decrepitude. You can cure with style, lifestyle. It'll never be a drug. It'll never be a supplement. It'll be what you do. You choose to educate or medicate. And if you medicate, you're going to have to tolerate the side effects of the drugs. Save yourself problems, but don't stay on a long-term drug for any time. It's a diet or drug, sneakers or slippers. It's the farm or the pharmacy, your choice, and you have to know that your style must fit your genes, your DNA, for you to fit into your genes. Hippocrates is said to be the father of modern medicine. Heck, he was the father of traditional medicine. I've read his work. He practiced more like I did. And he believes that diet and exercise, not too much, not too little, is the best and safest form of health care. I couldn't agree more after all these years. I say the surgeon cuts, the physician sutures. Great to have the technology. Get in an accident, that's where you want to go. But it is nature alone that heals. You can age gracefully. and gorgeously. You can stay sharp and svelte, and you should. You should stay sexually active in your waning years if you choose to, but it should be a choice. I say get your style on and cure what ails you. Thank you.
Marcus talked about waistline and brain, but he didn't mention hair, did he? and if I had a head of hair like this, I'd have amounted to something in my life. The thing about Marcus is if you were doing the television series about a crusading doctor, would he not look like that? That's great,
Bless
Marcus.
your heart.
Yeah.
Idea City is a place where ideas come face to face to inspire and give us hope. At this time, our planet needs it most. Idea City is a place. Everybody sing. Where ideas come face to face to inspire and give us hope. At this time, our planet needs it most. Idea City, gotta bring our ideas to Idea City, where ideas come face to face to inspire and give us hope. At this time, our planet needs it most. Idea City is a place where ideas come face to face to inspire.